We are going to do what Napoleon Brazili have said. We're going to teach people that killing people is wrong by exactly killing people to show that the degree of punishment is suitable with the degree of offense that they have committed, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're going to retain the death penalty in several circumstances. For example, if we are facing the threat of, we are putting a trial those convicted of genocide, those convicted of serial killing, those convicted of terrorism, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to give any government their own utmost right to choose whether they are going to implement death penalty or not. So we are still going to give Iran or United States of America the same exact right, ladies and gentlemen. So that is our stance, basically. We have 4 reasons why we are going to do this. Because one, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about the justiciability relativism. Secondly, why it is just for government to kill its own citizen for the sake of protection. And thirdly, why it's just given the gravity of evil that the offender had committed. And lastly, why there is no hope at all for rehabilitations in this specific crime. So, before that, to the rebuttals. So, 3 rebuttals. First one, they said about 2 wrongs cannot make a right. Okay then why are you still implementing punishment, ladies and gentlemen? Because punishment is essentially a move and actions that is going to reduce a person's right, a person's dignity, ladies and gentlemen. If that is wrong in action, that is the 2 wrong in itself, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to abolish all punishments? That is ludicrous. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, they talk about the idea of humanity. This is different. If you took away a person's right, that is offending their dignity. If you're putting them in a life sentence, it is different. Well, I think that dignity is your subjective definition, ladies and gentlemen, and the government should not make an arbitrary move in its own case. So humanity is still put in question, ladies and gentlemen. So what if the victim feels that the death penalty is the best escape rather than staying in the prison for eternity? That is still a question lingers on them. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, they talk about this is going to give a sufficient feeling of peace to the society. One, if you only put them in prisons, given that they are very dangerous criminals, prison outbreak is still a possibility, ladies and gentlemen. But secondly, what about the family's feeling? If family thinks that the best possible punishment for these people is death penalty, then that is what the society demands from you. And answer that. Oh, Diota,
I want to kill someone who scratched my car. Should the government allow that?
Scratching your car is different with genocide, different with serial killing, and different with all the aforementioned crimes that I've talked about. No, to my first point, cultural relativism demands us to understand more about the complexity in different situations, ladies and gentlemen. China and India or Iran have different sets of norms in their own societies, ladies and gentlemen. Have different sets of conditions that we have to respect. They have their own sovereignty. They have their own flexibility of moral adjustment to that particular context, ladies and gentlemen. They understand the best of what their society needs, of what is the best punishment to be implemented to retain the morality of their society. So given its nature, ladies and gentlemen, we have to respect the different jurisdictions across the world. So we're going to respect any countries with different sets of norms. For example, like Saudi Arabia, for example, like Iran, for example, like North Korea, ladies and gentlemen, that thinks that maybe that punishment is the best possible punishment for a massive offender. We think, ladies and gentlemen, this cultural activism has to be respected. Therefore, justiciability relativism should therefore exist. Second argument, ladies and gentlemen, why government could kill its own citizen? Well, first of all, it is simple, utilitarian calculus. Government should protect its own citizen, right? That is the reason why government is giving the army the right to kill, to remove an existential threat from outside society, ladies and gentlemen. And we think this heinous crime offender is also an existential threat inside our society. Why is that so, ladies and gentlemen? Because genociders, serial killers, serial rapists, or whatever, is essentially opposing public order, is challenging the government's existence in the first place, ladies and gentlemen. They are trying to dethrone the public order in the first place. But secondly, they are disregarding the preservation of life. We think that the preservation of life will come with the preservation of right. The foundations of society is the preservation of life. And when these killers have forgotten about that, they are no longer our citizens. They are an existential threat within our society, and effective removal is possible. No. Third argument, ladies and gentlemen, we think it's just. Why? One, because it's heinous. The material damage is in its most maximum level, ladies and gentlemen. The removal of a person's sanctity of life, this victim's most precious holding. But second to that, ladies and gentlemen, it's not about a material damage. It's not only about the number of people killed, but it's about destructions of the society's feeling of safety, ladies and gentlemen. It is about the threat of this crime that also offends society as a whole, that also creates a public insecurity within society, ladies and gentlemen. This nature of a crime, genocide, terrorism, and all of this is not only is not only done in a particular way that it offends the whole humanity, but it also intended to that purpose, ladies and gentlemen. That is the reason why serial killers like to flag up their crimes, ladies and gentlemen, genocide and all those things. That is why the offense, the gravity of offense is so huge that the normal way of conduct is not a thing that you should do, you should take, ladies and gentlemen, because the gravity of a crime is the most evil in its purest entirety. Thought, Raj.
Now, if you're saying in all jurisdictions, China actually prosecute people for death penalty for publication of pornography. So that's just. Thank you for saying that, though.
We think, ladies and gentlemen, if China thinks that publications of certain materials that could offend its own government, that could challenge their government's mandate and legitimacy, that's just for them, ladies and gentlemen. They have to prove why a certain government has to abide to a supranational institutionalizing that might be not respecting their sovereignty, ladies and gentlemen. That's your questions, not mine. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why the gravity of a crime is so big. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about why there is no hope for rehabilitations. Well, it's simple. Because in most cases, these three crimes are planned crimes, ladies and gentlemen. There's a difference between a crime by passion and a crime by planning. Crime by passion necessitates you to take any actions, which is bad because you're not planning it in the first place, ladies and gentlemen. But genocide, serial killing, terrorism is something which you systematically had planned, which you intentionally had executed, ladies and gentlemen. In this case, you're not only fulfilling the actus reus, the act of a crime in itself, but you're also fulfilling the mens rea, ladies and gentlemen, the guilty mind in its own entirety. You do not falter to the moral conceptions, to any rational considerations that is going to stop you from doing a crime in the first place, ladies and gentlemen. Those existence of morality in our society is not working for you. For this heinous crime offender. This existing rationality doesn't work for this criminal offender, ladies and gentlemen. They did it on the basis of pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. They did it on the basis of their own personal pursuit of happiness, ladies and gentlemen. We think these people might be having their sense of psychological capacity being deployed and defunct, or second, ladies and gentlemen, is a person who is having a trouble in their head. Therefore, any act of rehabilitation is simply impossible, ladies and gentlemen. And the way to do this is effective removal of that person from threatening the entire society. Thank you.